Okay. All right. We are live on Facebook. So, hello out there, everybody. And I just want to, I think I'm breaking up a little bit. I'm just going to shut things down. Yes, I am live. And I have a very special guest today here on Quicks of Politic. I am joined by James Chapman. Okay, so he is an entrepreneur extraordinaire. We met when I was working at Quicken Loans, and he was just this vibrant person who told me about co-starters. And so originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee, he was the man about town, making the moves with the Quicken Loans Community Fund, and then Demo Day started.
Yeah.
I think it was like, was it 2017 or so? Like Demo Day?
We started Demo Day. Yeah, that's right, 2017.
Right. So yeah, it was around that time, and now he's also the founder of Plainsight. The Plainsight app
Yeah.
is, all about serendipitous collisions, and just being able to have conversations with entrepreneurs, with founders, with just thought leaders in the Metro Detroit area. So yeah, so tell us a little bit more about yourself, and then we're going to get into some exciting questions.
Yeah. So like you said, I'm originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Uh, been living in Detroit for like 5 years. Primarily came up to help with entrepreneurship initiatives under the Quicken and Rock family of companies. And then decided to step away from connecting go-getters and entrepreneurs to monetary capital to connecting them to social capital. And the way that I wanted to do that was by allowing people to be more intentional about the connections that they make whenever they're in physical shared spaces. And why that's important and why I jumped to that is because that all came to me because when I was in Chattanooga, I was running a co-working space for side hustlers. And the space was open from 6 p.m. to midnight. And people were always asking me about how they can get connected to other people in the space that come to the space, and that sort of thing, and looking to just grow their network. And it ever since I have been doing that, it was kind of haunting me thinking about how technology could solve that problem for people. And so that's kind of how I got to this is really starting back from an idea that was bubbling up when I was in Chattanooga, where I'm from.
Okay. So you wanted people to be able to like get the services they needed and like collaborate and come together and just kind of like take out that middleman of like, oh, I need a space, or I want to do this, and I want to find that sense of empowerment.
Yeah,
And but what made so the question to me is like, what brought you to Detroit, first of all? But
yeah,
I really want to know a little bit more about how just like you went from that to TED Talks to then Dan
yeah,
Gilbert and getting connected with him, and then
yeah,
also like replicating all of that innovation in Chattanooga and
yeah,
bringing that here to Detroit, and then just
yeah.
making it big.
Yeah. It all started because of Dan Gilbert actually and his team really having a strong appetite for helping entrepreneurs in the city of Detroit. And they wanted to go with someone who was an entrepreneur that had some experience helping entrepreneurs. And the previous work that they were doing, it was great, but they just were going a different direction with the work, and try to make it a little bit more robust. And so I got the opportunity to talk with them. And when I did, we just kind of had shared visions on being able to make an impact on a city like Detroit, because Detroit is a predominantly Black city. I relate a lot to the hustle. I relate a lot to the hustle mentality of Detroit. And so I just kind of gravitated towards it on my first couple of visits up. And once I sat down with Dan and his team, um, I just asked them, could I go out and talk to a lot of the entrepreneurs and the stakeholders? And once I did that, I realized that founder friendly capital was a big barrier for people. And that's where the whole idea for Detroit Demo Day even came from, is just going out talking to entrepreneurs who wanted to be celebrated and wanted to get the real dollars that they need to be able to take their ventures to the next level. And so, every year we do this huge pitch competition that brings out 2,000 people, and we give away $1 million to celebrate Detroit entrepreneurship. Uh, and after I did that for about 3 years, I just felt like it was time for me to move on and do something else, because I had built it out, put the plans in place. It's replicable, and so I asked Dan, was he cool with that? And I was a little nervous about it, to be honest with you, at first, but he was cool, man. And he gave me his full support, and he even decided that he wanted to invest. So that's how our relationship became even a little bit closer, because when I pitched him, he said, I haven't heard an idea that I like in a really long time, and I really like this idea. So I wanna invest in your business. So that's kind of how our relationship started to grow even stronger.
You know what? That's kind of an interesting perspective, because I think in some ways, like, I don't know, maybe if it's the movement that we're in right now, but I think, millionaires and billionaires and like folks who, just kind of like have this position, kind of get a bad rap for, like, just, oh well, you have all of this wealth. And but it's like, instead, I think we're noticing that folks like Dan Gilbert are really invested in, the success of Detroit. They're invested in the success and the outcomes of like new ideas, and they want to see things grow and flourish. And I do think that this is not something that we would have seen in the past, from a lot of folks who are like, captains of industry, and particularly kind of
Right,
just kind of taking that time to really look at like what's missing, and then
right,
invest in what needs to fill that void of what's missing. And I'm glad that you're a part of, bringing unique voices to the table to be able to, really push, folks who are investors to kind of like look at things differently and invest differently too.
yeah,
So I think that's
yeah.
definitely unique. And I just feel like that more people need to know, like, hey, Demo Day is out here, and you are, if you're a business, try your hand at this, and you can, kind of scale.
Yeah.
There's a scale vertical. There is a when you're just starting
Start
off.
for the very, yeah, you just getting started. And then there's a grow, and then there's a scale. So like, we try to meet the entrepreneurs where they are in the process. As long as you've got something that's proven, that's in the market at least, we're gonna try to put the best against the best and see what happens. You know what I mean? It's just kind of up to them from there. We're just the fuel, but it's been exciting to watch the evolution.
Okay, okay. So, all right. So you went from, Chattanooga, and then helping people get that connection. Then, in Detroit, and you kind of pitched this idea of being able to help people take things to the next level. So
Right,
then you took it to the next level when you wanted to really push for, you know, um, kind of the connecting like-minded people at events and at coffee shops, and where you
right,
can be in workspaces, and just kind of have those serendipitous collisions, as we call them. And
right,
just kind of like good ideas come when people who are thinking more along the wavelengths of being innovators, are allowed to, like, you're an engineer, I am a, designer, and let's just randomly talk at a coffee shop.
right,
And it's just
right,
kind of, so the app, how it works is it essentially, like, when people are in the same place or in the same area, you can find out, like, well, there's a software engineer who's just hanging out at this coffee shop, or there is a, computer programmer who's here, or somebody who wants to try to look for more messagings around, certain entrepreneurial endeavors. And this is definitely a great idea, but how have you guys been able to kind of pivot this model during the pandemic? And, what is the future of, serendipitous collisions in the age of work from home? Because this is something that even in my workplace,
Right,
whether it's on the political end or in the small business end, it's like we're trying to figure out how you have those spaces for collaboration when they used to be just
right,
so natural. Now it's kind of hard because everybody's on Zoom and you have to wait your time, silence yourself, and all of that kind of stuff.
right. Yeah, I mean, how we did it, we first just had to believe that we could do it. When the pandemic hit, we pretty much had every reason to quit because we built this for in person. There is no in person connections, uh, especially with strangers. So, like, what we decided to do was think through how we could still provide some value. And we just realized that people probably are just as eager to connect now than ever before. And then now, how do we structure that in the app? And a lot of it we're still figuring out, but we started to reach out to different communities who were doing virtual networking events and things of that nature and still wanted to have their community be able to engage with one another on an ongoing basis. And so that started to help us out. Then we started to list the clean and safety precautions of some of the spaces that were physical spaces and deciding to open even if only having very limited people inside, displaying that information. And so that helped for sure. And now we've just been doing a continuation of both. But also, we got a new feature that's coming out that's going to allow you to be paired with different leads every day. So we'll send you a group of different leads every day based off of the information that's in your profile. And so even though in person is like right around the corner, we're still trying to help people connect virtually as much as possible, knowing that the world is going to be this hybrid of, remote and in person for the next probably 18 to 24 months. So, we're just trying to meet market where it is.
Right. And you really do have to start to meet the people where they are, because I think a lot of times, like with workforces, we have been wanting to kind of have this work from home environment, just to be able
Right,
to have more flexibility. But that's not to say that we're not feeling deprived of our in-person interactions, because they say
right,
some of the best ideas like in Silicon Valley have come when people are just kind of in the lunchroom, or sitting down, or just bumping into people, like the coffee shop example. So
yeah.
you know I think it's
Nothing,
really.
nothing,
Mhm.
nothing beats being able to look somebody in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like we could come up with all the gadgets and gadgets and features and all that type of stuff, and it'll help. And some people will be able to find value in meeting some people virtually. And Zoom and all that is cool, but nothing like me sitting down, actually looking you eye to eye, not screen to screen. I mean, like straight up eye to eye. And people are longing for that. I know I'm longing for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those types of connections and being able to really hear the tone in someone's voice because they're near you. It's just different, man.
Or even body
Um,
language,
and
because
so I
like I remember the first time I kind of interacted with you, I had emailed you and I was just like, James Chapman, you seem really cool, will you meet with me? I'm just a lowly person who works here somewhere. And you were like, sure, let's meet. And I think we met outside of Starbucks or something. And
Starbucks.
you kind of were like just talking to me about opportunities to grow business ideas, or even like to add structure to what it is that you want to seek to do for communities.
Right,
Like just building on top of ideas and collaborating with people and getting the most out of what organizations you work with are striving to do. So
right,
it was a nice
right.
long conversation, and I felt like I missed those one-to-one interactions with people to pick their brains, because you know
Yeah,
you you really, like you said, it's nothing beats like that kind of feeling of like being able to be across from somebody and kind of like you
yeah.
know just the vibe is different, and
It's just
takes away the
different. Yeah.
formality. Right, right. So
Yeah,
that
it's
actually,
just different. And so, yeah,
mhm.
go ahead.
Oh, no, 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 go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, no, I would just say we're ready for that. No, that's we're ready for it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I do think that since we are ready for, we're craving for this, and I think that we've all had to pivot. It's because I think the last time I talked to you via Zoom was like when the pandemic first happened, and we were talking about like, hey, what's the future? What are we
Mhm.
gonna do? And it was like with Build Coffee and Conversations, and it just kind of makes me think about like as somebody who works in policy, whether it's in the Michigan legislature or, the city council, how can, what would you like to see more from elected officials, from government officials to, really advocate for innovation in cities to be able to come up with one opportunities for, kind of like this spirit of innovation and, for businesses and to encourage more entrepreneurship and helping existing businesses be able to elevate, kind of using services like what Plainsight offers. And how can we
Yeah,
this something that's just like this is on the agenda, this is going to be something that we think turns into policy.
yeah. I think money talks, man. And I think if people in the nonprofit sectors and the government sectors and things of that nature want to really see economic development, then you just got to put more money into the hands of the businesses and the business owners and also challenge innovation. You know what I'm saying? Put out challenges for people to come up with innovative solutions to even the city's own challenges, right? Or whatever legislature you can think of. And make people come up with those things and put incentives out there for them to come up with those solutions. Because if you really want to see things go forward at the end of the day, like we have to have a governing body. Like politics and business, they have to be able to play well with one another. And so oftentimes it can seem like a policy is just in the way, to be honest with you, from an entrepreneur standpoint, like just certain
Right,
things
because
come up and
entrepreneurs
you're
are
like, oh,
doers.
this
We're
is
gonna
just,
find a way around it, and
we're
so
gonna
be
find
like,
a
well,
way around it.
we're gonna work around it, but
Yeah, but we shouldn't,
we shouldn't
we
have to.
shouldn't
It should be
have
working
to.
for
We
us
shouldn't
because back
have
to
to.
your point about like you should be meeting the people where they are.
Yeah, you got to meet the people where they are, man. And so I would say there needs to be like monthly roundtables where government is just meeting with entrepreneurs, literally just talking about their issues, talking about like what new innovation is out there, what can make their life easier, or what things they can even do for for a government. So stuff like that. That's where the real ideas are gonna come from. Like I could give you some on just like plain sight stuff, but I really think for this system to work better and to really play nicely, the two systems play nicely with one another. There's got to be more communication. There's got to be more dialogue, and there's got to be more of an appetite to reward innovation. And until that happens, and it's on a regular, ongoing cadence, I don't think we'll ever see the strides that we really need to see um, to have success in that department.
Well, thank you so much for your insight, and thank you for your time today. And I just think that it's important for us to continue to like strive for just kind of having collaborative conversations. And I'm actually really glad that like Plain Sight app exists to be able to facilitate that. And it was something we needed before the pandemic, and I do think that we definitely are going to need it now more than ever, because we don't really even know where the future of like kind of like meeting up
Yeah,
is going to even take us. What is that going to look like now? So I think we're going to be needing
yeah,
that, the virtual guidance and ways to kind of like come in and add, just a better workflow. Because I'm always on the lookout for like, is this
yeah,
gonna help me with workflow? Is this gonna help me, better, able to, is it gonna give me this way to be able to better serve or to make things more efficient? So Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I dig it. We're gonna keep showing up. We're gonna keep trying to provide value and keep allowing people to find ways to make meaningful connections through us, and hopefully we can start doing that more and more in person. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Always good to talk to you. Always good to see you doing great things in the city of Detroit and in your own personal life. So shout out to all the things that you've been able to accomplish since we've even first met one another.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I feel like, hey, you're one of the muses who kind of was just like, this is what you need to do, and I'm like, okay, did what James Chapman told me to do, and then I
I'm
checked in, I'm
doing
like,
it.
and then you were like, oh well, what about this? And I'm like, see, I'm just like loving the way that he's just so encouraging, and he's just like, you didn't even really know me, but you were like nice to be able
Yeah,
to offer that kind of level of just kind of one-on-one, and that's something I definitely miss is the accessibility to
yeah,
people. So yeah.
yeah, for
Um
sure.
yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show. Where can people find you? Any events, anything coming up that you want people to know about?
Yeah. You can follow me on all my social handles at Ira the Hustle. You can follow me on Plain Sight. Just search Plain Sight CEO. And yeah, tap in. Oh, we're doing an equity crowdfunding campaign right now. So if you want to own a piece of Plain Sight, you can just go to our website, plainsight.app. You can invest at a minimum of $100 and have ownership into the company. And so, yeah, that's just something that we're doing for our community right now. Just people to kind of take this ride with us if they want to. And I think the max that we're going to take is 100,000. I think we're like 35,000 right now, so there's still some time. But yeah,
Nice, nice. All right, all right. Well, I will be talking to you soon. I'm quite sure like more plans are underway for like demo day for this year because I feel like it was just a couple of months ago that demo day already happened. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
time be flying, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. And it's so funny because like I knew like most of the people who had, pitched there, or at least I've known them in passing. I'm not be like, yeah,
right, right,
but I'm
right,
like, because it's such a small world. And I love that the Metro Detroit ecosystem is small enough for you to get to know people who are, just
right,
doing big things. And yeah, so
right.
all right. Well, thank you out there for all of you who joined us. And let me see if there are any questions here in the chat. And thank you, James, for joining me. It's always good talking to you.
I appreciate you. Always good to see you. And look forward to doing it again. Hopefully soon. Hopefully in person.
Bye, everybody. All right, that was the end of the live stream.